Well, I'm not sure they're normal, Greg, but it is absolutely a crazy time. And, the thing that we have been able to do is continue with our workouts. Our guys have done a really good job. Everybody, once they got to campus, we had a protocol in place to where they had to be quarantined for 48 hours, and then they received their COVID test. And once they tested negative, they were able to start their workouts. So, we kind of strategically brought them back in waves. And early on, it was a lot of individual skill work. And then once we got going with a couple players at a time, we kept them basically with their roommates, just in case somebody did come down with it. We would only have to isolate a certain proportion of our team. But now we actually have gotten into full team workouts. And the reason that we are doing that and we're comfortable doing it is because, talking to our players about the importance of doing the right things off the floor and not risking contamination, our guys are hanging around each other a lot and spending a lot of time together off the court. They're basically all living in the same area. So we felt that it was, the right move to start getting them on the court together and doing team workouts. And it's been really good. I've been really impressed with the work ethic of this team. I just love their competitive spirit. We've got a sports scientist, Chris Bach is his name, that's done an excellent job of monitoring loads. They have what's called a catapult system that monitors all their movements and their workload, and we're able to plan accordingly as far as how we want to construct a week, as far as how much work we want them to go through. And then once they hit that load, we basically shut them down, which they don't like. They want to be in that gym. So it's a great problem to have to slow them down as opposed to kick them in the butt and get them going. And it's really been good. So, love the competitive spirit of our group, and, hopefully we can continue to get better as we go along.
What type of testing and how often are you doing it with this group?
Well, we do it every day. They wear a monitor within a little bit a halter is what they wear, and then it's got a monitor that they put in the back of it, a little pocket, and it shows all their movements. And we do a jump test with them every Monday that shows if they're how much fatigue they have, if they're favoring certain. For example, if they have a hip that's off, they'll favor the other side of their body, and you can sense that and you can see that. So, again, we had one week where our guys came in Monday and you could just tell they were exhausted because their jump numbers were so low. So we were able to adjust, and we basically made that a recovery week. So we're just trying to plan, and there's so many different scenarios that are out there right now, Greg. I don't know when we're going to start. I don't know anybody. If anybody does, there was some things out today that maybe will start end of November or early December, which I think makes the most sense just because your students go home after that first semester, which they moved up this year, and it gives the best opportunity to create some type of a bubble and isolate the players. So hopefully we'll go through with that, but we're just trying to keep everybody fresh right now, not have the burnout factor, and keep them ready to go if we do open at that time.
Coach, we had Bill Moose on a couple days ago. He's had to make some really difficult decisions because of the cancellation of the fall sports and the lack of revenue coming into the department. One of those decisions was to close the training table. How has that affected your guys?
Well, it's obviously it's not ideal. It's very important as far as the nutrition, making sure these guys are fueled going into their workouts. So basically what we have is the opportunity to do snacks for our players. We have fueling stations that gives them protein bars, protein shakes to, get them something in their body before we go in the morning. So we do a morning session in the weight room, and then they're on the floor with the coaches at 9. And then the good thing right now is academically, the academic advisors are actually coming over to the Hendricks facility and doing their tutoring and academic services over there, just again to try to limit as much cross-contamination as possible. Generally, everybody's together, all the sports, but we're just trying to keep everything isolated at this time. So it's worked well with the snacks and the fueling stations. It's been able to keep our guys going, and then hopefully, at some point we'll get the training table going again.
Again, visiting with Fred Hoiberg, Husker head basketball coach here on Sports Nightly. Tell me about this group. I mean, you've had most of them in town for a couple of months now. You mentioned the individual workouts, now to the team workouts. What's your feeling about this group?
Well, I'm excited about them, Greg. We're much longer, and we've got more athleticism, I think, on this team. we're still obviously trying to figure everything out this early in the process. But I think we've got good versatility as well. And, you look at a couple players that came back that were probably the last to arrive on campus were our international players, which were Thor and Ivan. And, those guys were stuck over in Iceland and in France because of the travel ban. But, once students were allowed to get back, they are back on campus. So it's been great to have a little bit of continuity with those guys that were in the system last year, as well as the three that sat out with Shamil Stevenson, with Derek Walker, and with Delano Banton. And, those guys have a little bit of a leg up right now just because they understand the nuances of the system. But the other guys are picking things up very quickly. The thing I like is I've seen a high basketball IQ with a lot of these guys. And, we got a grad transfer in Kobe Webster that I've been really impressed with. Great leadership skills. I just love everything that he's about. A great communicator, and a guy that can make shots. A 3-year starter at Western Illinois that has played in some big games. You look at Lat Mayan, who I've been really impressed with. Greg, he's a 6'9" kid that came from Chipola Junior College. He started his career out at TCU, and he was basically a double-double guy last year, and a very, very good three-point shooter. We do a 100-shot drill, which is something that I got from my days in the NBA, which we put all of the pre-draft players through. It's basically a series of 100 threes that the Spurs came up with, and we've been putting our guys through that. Lat Mayan made 86 of them out of 100 the other day, and I've never seen that. So he's a guy that can really stretch the floor at his position. Teddy Allen's has been awesome. He's a guy that he just finds a way to put the ball in the basket, and I guess when you average over 30 in a season, you just find different ways to get it in the basket. And he's a 3-level scorer. He can score it at the rim. He's a very crafty finisher. Shot over 40 from 3 last season, and he's one of those guys that makes tough mid-range shots as well, which I'm not in love with. But if you show me you can make him at a high percentage, then I'll let you shoot him. And I think music to everybody's ears is he was over a 90% free throw shooter a year ago. Some of the other guys that have made improvements. Akal has been really good. He looks good. Obviously, coming back from last year on this team, got some good quality minutes at the end of the season. Trey McGowan's is one that was a transfer from Pittsburgh. We'll see what happens with him as far as his waiver. But we're excited. We're excited about this group, Greg. And like I said, hopefully we can continue to build great chemistry and move in the right direction.
Has that waiver been filed yet, Coach, for Trey?
It will be filed this week.
Okay. And then who knows, but who knows what the NCAA's timeline will be, but it look maybe promising. It looks like they're allowing some of those to happen. You mentioned the NBA. They've been participating in the bubble down in Orlando, and you alluded to it earlier. Is that gaining some steam in the college game to maybe do some of that to get games in once you get back on the court to compete?
Yeah, there's been a lot of different things out there, Greg, as far as what the specifics of them are. I think in the details are still being worked out. But there has been a lot of discussion on that. And, again, there's a lot of things of, are we going to play non-conference in the bubbles in, neutral sites, and then maybe do the conference games on campus and do a bubble there where you play a little round robin. That scenario has been out there. So there's so many different things right now, Greg, but I still think we're a ways away from figuring out exactly what's going to happen.
How has it, you mentioned the students have been back for a couple of weeks. Do you notice more traffic around town? And you said your guys have been pretty smart about kind of maybe stay within themselves and not get mixed up with the general student population, which is too bad. That's one of the great things about college life is to be able to do that. So that's got to be tough to avoid that temptation, I would think.
It is, yeah. I mean, I was obviously in college and had fun in college, and it's hard, but, we talk about sacrificing, and all it takes is one poor decision to lead to shutting down something where we're making a lot of progress and taking a huge step backwards. And I talked about holding each other accountable in that area as well. If you see somebody going on the verge of making a decision like that, stop them. And, those guys are around each other a lot more than we're with them. So it is. There is more traffic on campus. It's great to see the students back, but we have to continue to be smart and be diligent with it.
You and your staff have not been allowed to go out and recruit. The NCAA has put a moratorium on that, I believe, until the end of September. How much has that hampered you, and what have you had to do creatively to try to overcome some of those hurdles?
I'm just about zoomed out, to be honest with you. I mean, I didn't even know what Zoom was. Zoom to me was a dribble handoff back, as of a year ago. But now, yeah, we're doing Zoom calls pretty much every day, and just did 3 of them today. And it's something that it's been good, though. I'll say this: we've gotten our foot in the door with what I think are some pretty high level kids, and a big part of that is showing our style of play and the pace that we play with and the shot profile that we created. We just need to be more efficient with it. And I think as we continue on and continue to add the right pieces, that efficiency is going to go up, and hopefully we'll add to some wins. The league's going to be a monster again next year. A lot of the players that they thought might make the jump to the next level and go to the NBA ended up coming back to school, which is great for them, not so great for us. But we just got to, again, continue to move in the right direction and hopefully continue to add the right players. We feel good about this year's class. We're, like I said, we're on some pretty high level kids that we feel relatively good about, and hopefully we'll get good news on that front.
Very good. Well, Coach, great to hear your voice. Good to catch up. Keep everybody healthy. Let's hope we get some good news here in the next few months and get to see the Huskers back on the court soon.
Yeah, always great to talk to you, Greg. Take care.